try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, that's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from through the chains, go free me. People like sheep, move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they're scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they drag the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds, they can stay soft. You can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss, just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, that's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. What up, what up, what up, Finn fans? Welcome to another episode of the Finn Posse Podcast. I'm your host, Big C. This is brought to you by Game Changers Media. How is everybody doing this lovely Thursday morning? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Cap, good morning. Bonnie, good morning. Scotty, good morning. Michael, Aqua, Elwood, good morning. Scotty says, I have accepted the conclusion after Greer's press conference. Unfortunately, this team has absolutely no direction under Greer. It is solely about him preserving his job. If it was solely about him preserving his job, wouldn't you think that the Miami Dolphins would be more aggressive in free agency? That's what's so confusing about this whole situation. That's what's so confusing, that if I was trying to preserve my job and I knew that my job was to reach a certain goal or a certain milestone, I would do everything in my power. I'd put all my resources that I could possibly put into completing that goal. And I don't feel like this team is doing that. I just don't, it doesn't make sense to me. Good morning, Anthony, Damian. It just doesn't make sense. It's almost like, I'm stealing from you, but I'm telling you, you're watching me put stuff in my pocket, and I'm stealing from you, but I'm saying, hey, I'm not stealing from you. I'm not stealing from you. What are you talking about? I'm not stealing from you. But you're watching me put stuff in my pocket. You're watching this team headed towards a rebuild, They're doing all the things that would suggest that we're rebuilding, yet he's telling us, no, we're trying to win now. We're trying to win now. Jankety Jim, this team is in a bad place. Absolutely. Absolutely. We're in a horrible spot. And it with no clear direction which way we're headed. Absolutely, Anthony. It's like someone's breaking into your house while you're still inside and stealing right in front of you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah. Scotty says Greer is able to push all accountability. He doesn't worry about making better moves. He only has to worry about who is to blame whatever a particular move fails. The whole thing is confusing to me. Like I said, it is absolutely confusing to me. At a certain point, I didn't feel that we were too far away from competing. Did we have some holes on this team? Yeah. Were they pretty big holes? Yeah. Were we able to enter free agency and with a good draft fill those holes and be able to compete if Tua can stay healthy? I thought so. At the beginning of the offseason, I didn't imagine any of this taking place. Look at this team. I mean, if you go through the last few years, 2023, you all know my situation on that, my position on that. We were a very good team headed towards the playoffs, a dominant offense, a decent defense. And then the injuries took place. We lost a bunch of games in a row. We get bounced first round. And then last year happens. Tua gets hurt. Bradley Chubb's out. Jalen Phillips comes back, but he's not healthy. He gets re-hurt. We missed the playoffs by one game, but that's with our starting quarterback missing 6 games without much of a pass rush till the last third of the season. So I'm thinking, hey, listen, and a terrible offensive line. So then the end of the season comes. We have the issues with Tyreek. Okay. We try to figure those out. He's our best offensive weapon. Chris Grier, Stephen Ross releases his memo saying that, status quo is not good enough. The status quo is not good enough. So in our heads, we're like, all right, these guys are on the hot seat. Chris Grier, Mike McDaniel, they're going to do whatever necessary to keep their jobs this offseason. Chris Grier finally admits that the offensive line wasn't good enough. So great. We're going to address the biggest need on this offense, which is the offensive line. If Tua can stay healthy, we're going to have a great offense again. The defense should be better because Bradley Chubb should be back. Jalen Phillips should be back. Plus, we get to add people in the draft. Yeah, we're losing Javon Holland to free agency, but that's okay. That's okay. But then one thing after another, we go in the opposite direction. I wholeheartedly felt like after last year, after missing the playoffs by one game, I felt like coming into this offseason, we addressed the guard positions. We signed 2 in free agency, shore up that offensive line. You draft one maybe in the 3rd, 4th round to really shore it up, get some depth. The offense is pretty good. The defensive side of the ball, we needed a safety. We needed 2 safeties. And we needed a corner. But we had the draft. So, the draft had 2 very good safeties in it. The draft has a couple good corners in it. Maybe you bring a free agent corner in. You draft a corner high. You add some depth to the defensive tackle position. You make sure Calais comes back. And every move that we've done so far has went in the opposite direction. Everything we've done we've went in the opposite direction. We Armstead retires, which, you know, a lot of us seen coming. I was hoping that maybe he'd come back for one more year. But I mean, the writing was on the wall with Armstead. Calais Campbell not being returning here is absolutely ridiculous. It's being said that we only offered him the third most amount of money. We were third on his contract offer and free agency. We only hit third in the amount of money. Why didn't we offer him whatever he wanted? I mean, not whatever he wanted. Obviously, we're not going to pay Calais $12 million a year, but 6, 7, even $8 million for what Calais brings to this team, his leadership, his play on the field. Not to mention there was no one else to replace him. The fact that we only went out and signed one guard. I'm not counting all the Larry Borum or whatever his name is. No, we only signed one legit guard, and he's coming off a major injury. The safety position, we got some depth pieces. I think those guys are good depth pieces. I don't think neither one of them are starting caliber safeties, though. And we've ignored the corner position. And now it's Jalen Ramsey. We're looking to trade him. When it's being said that he didn't ask for a trade. If we don't even have a number 2 corner and we're trying to trade our number 1 corner, how is that us trying to win? How is that us trying to win? If we let Calais Campbell walk out the door without giving a real effort to re-signing him, how is that us trying to win? The fact that we watched other guys get signed for contracts that I feel were, you know, they were decent contracts. We didn't have to jump out the window to sign some of these free agents. And the fact that we didn't do that, how is that us trying to win? Re-signing Liam Eichenberg, how is that us trying to win? How is that us trying to win? Everything is pointing towards a rebuild. And I think that's how I'm going to go about this last mock draft. I'm sick and tired of these mock drafts. You know, we've done so many here on this channel. I've done 20 times that at home. I am legit, probably no lie, doing 30 mock drafts a day. $30 mock drafts a day. For what, though? For what? And I try to go in different directions. I try to draft if we were rebuilding. I try to draft if we're in win now mode. I try to, you know, I've used future picks to try to trade up in this draft so we can possibly compete. But for what? And what is going on behind the scenes? If Chris Grier and Mike McDaniel's jobs aren't in danger, I have to ask the question, why aren't they? Why aren't they? And by everything that the Miami Dolphins have done this offseason, or lack thereof, it's pointing to that their jobs aren't in jeopardy. How could they possibly be in jeopardy? Chris Grier and Mike McDaniel can't be foolish enough to think that this team is good enough as is, or with a draft, to compete for the division, to compete for playoff wins. Oh, I know, Michael, I'm not drafting. You know what I mean? I know. Well, I hope so, Cap. Cap says, trust me, if we're worse than advertised, they won't let it ride for more years. So why is like Chris Greer doesn't he's numb to that? Is he numb to that? Marcos, I don't know. I think the defense can, well, it's hard to say. It's hard to say because we have so many holes right now. I think at linebacker, we're okay. I think at pass rusher, we're okay. As long as Bradley Chubb comes back, I think Chop Robinson's going to take another step forward. If Jalen Ramsey or Jalen Phillips can come back, and the foolish Dolphin fan in me, I'm hoping that we don't find no trade partner for Jalen Ramsey. I hope we don't. I hope there's some way that Jalen Ramsey is still on this team at the beginning of the season. I don't think they want to win Big C. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. And I'm so tired of the double standards for this team. The fans on this team are crazy. And I'm kind of calling out my boy TD right now. He was on Bleacher Report. I filled in for him on the AFC East roundtable last night. He hit me 5 minutes after the show started and said, "Hey, can you fill in for me?" So I'm scrambling. I try to get there. They're doing a mock draft. I've never done a mock draft on ESPN. So it flabbergasts me. I'm feeling pressure to hurry up, and I didn't have the greatest mock draft for us, honestly. But I was listening to TD while I was making my kids dinner while he was on Bleacher Report, and he's so contradicted himself with, of course, the blame always goes back to Tua. And if Tua does something good, it's the whole team. It's the whole team that did it, not Tua. But as soon as Tua doesn't do something, it's Tua's fault and nobody else's. And it just drives me. It drives me crazy. It drives me crazy. Like, they create narratives for no reason. Again, I'm not a Tua fan. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a Tua fan because he plays for the Miami Dolphins, but I'm not a delusional Tua fan. I'm not a delusional Dolphin fan either. You know what I mean? I call it how I see it. And am I always right? No, I'm not. I'm not always right. My opinion's not always right. But it's my opinion. It's how I see it. And I'm open to listening to other people's opinions, and maybe you can change my mind. And I'm sure a couple of you have changed my mind during this show at different periods. I just want you to listen to I want you to listen, and hopefully you guys can hear this from TD last night. It's just a little segment. It's maybe a minute long. I hope you guys can hear it, but
everything you can to make up for his shortcomings by loading up around him to make him look better than he actually is. But some place on the team is going to suffer as a result. And here we are today, loaded up on offense, but the defense is now suffering. Plus a healthy Tyree, plus a healthy Ramsey, plus a healthy Armstead, plus a healthy. Are you sure it's not all of those things combined? Because Tua's only led this team to a playoffs one time, healthy. One time. You can argue, was it him? Or was it the combination of all the talent around him, including him, right? We're not going to take credit away from him, including him, but he led us one time. He was healthy, he would do any better in those other seasons. Like, we love to throw around the phrase, well, Tua missed the last 4 games. If he didn't, we would have done this. Why do we say that? Do y'all remember 3 years ago where we were lights out and Tua missed the last 4 games and we went 1-3 or something like that? And people said, well, if Tua didn't get hurt, we would have won those games. And then the very next year, he played all 17 games. He didn't get hurt, but we lost all them games at the end anyway. Do you remember that? The stage was set. Oh my gosh, 4 games left and you're healthy. Now you can prove last year if you played, we would have been okay. And he did, but we weren't okay. We actually lost a lot of those games anyway, including the Tennessee Titans, teams that are no good.
I don't know how good you could hear that, but basically he was saying, Tua led us to the playoffs one time. Tua led us to the playoffs one time, but was it really Tua that did it, or was it everybody else? And then we say in 2000, we say that if Tua would have stayed healthy that first year, that we could have did something. He's like, but the next year Tua was healthy, which he's talking about 2023. Tua was healthy. He says when Tua was healthy, we lost the last 4 games. So can he really do it? Listen, you're acting like in 2022, the rest of the team was fairly healthy. Tua got hurt. We ended up losing in the first round of the playoffs to the Buffalo Bills. Right? Tua got hurt. Skylar Thompson comes in. We end up losing first round to the Buffalo Bills. I mean, Costa Nostra, I'm criticizing TD a little bit right here, right now. You know what I mean? He is my boy. You know what I mean? And he's done a lot for me, and I appreciate the hell out of him. But I don't agree with everything he says. So 2022, he's like, Tua gets hurt, and we say, well, if Tua was here, we would have won. And then he says in 2023, Tua was healthy, but Tua collapsed. No, bro. Tua was healthy in 2023, but there was so many other injuries on the team. How are you putting that blame on Tua? How is that blame on Tua? How is that blame on Tua? Come on. And then he said in 2000, he said last year, we say, well, if Tua wouldn't have missed 6 games, how can we say that when we've proven that Tua can't win? Like, no, the whole team was hurt the year before, bro. Tua, the whole team was hurt. Let me look up Anthony. Big C, to me, it's a split. Greer really does not know how to draft that well. McDaniel allows players to walk all over him, and Tua can't stay healthy, and he doesn't perform well in the big moments. Again, I think we get caught up with Tua not performing big in the big moments, and you're right. He hasn't played his best. Lots of situations, he hasn't played his best. Cap, no quarterback. First off, the quarterback healthy. You can't have the whole rest of the team hurt. See, that's that fake narrative stuff, Cap. Come on. Like, I know you know football better than that to make a statement like that. Just because Tua was healthy doesn't mean he can go out and win when everybody else on the team's hurt. That's not reality though. If that team was healthy, they would have won the division. Bottom line. Don't act like Tua isn't a difference maker for this team. Look at the offense last year without Tua. Look at it with Tua. That's your proof in the pudding right there. That's the difference Tua makes on this offense. Tua healthy doesn't mean he can play defense. We were signing pass rushers off the street, bro. Come on. We were signing pass rushers off the street. You know what I mean? Did Tua play great down the stretch? No. But this team isn't built. This team was never built to beat good teams. Let's keep it real. This team was never built to beat good teams. We're weak along the trenches. Everybody says that we're soft. How can you beat good teams that aren't built soft? Good teams are built along the trenches. They typically got good defensive lines, good offensive lines. And some just got elite quarterbacks. They can cover up for the holes on a team. But again, Tua Tagovailoa is not Josh Allen. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's not Patrick Mahomes. And everybody knows this, but people want to still have the same expectations of this man, and it's not realistic. You're right. Tua is not elite. Tua's not elite. And not every quarterback is the leader. Not every quarterback is the leader of their team. But Chris Grier don't know what he's talking about anyway. You could take Chris Grier's word for a grain of salt. He called Tyreek Hill a leader. So we're gonna listen to him when he doesn't mention Tua's name, but criticize him when he says something about Tyreek being the team leader. The guy doesn't know what he's talking about, obviously. He doesn't know what he's talking about. People like to pick their favorite parts of something and say, oh, look at this. This proves this, but ignore the rest of the statement. There's definitely teams that the quarterback isn't overly outspoken and the leader of a team. Should they be the leader of the team? Yeah, hell yeah. But not everybody's a Tom Brady, a Peyton Manning. You know what I mean? Not everybody's that person. And again, I'm not defending Tua because I don't think Tua is the answer at quarterback. Again, can we win with Tua? Yeah. The Baltimore Ravens won a Super Bowl with Trent Dilfer. You think Trent Dilfer was the leader of that team? You think Brad Johnson was the leader of the Bucs team that won a Super Bowl? The fact of the matter is, regardless of who's a team leader or who's not, Mike Florio is a Dolphin hater. Him and Chris Sims. Him and Chris Sims are both Dolphin haters. They're Tua haters. And that quarterback and re-signing Tua was a mistake. It was a mistake. But we've already committed to that mistake. We've already committed to that mistake. So why are we trying to renege on it now? We might as well be trying to go all in because we're connected to this quarterback. At least for the next year or two. And Cap, I agree the quarterback should be a leader. Mike McDaniel should be a leader, but that's not their personality. That's not their personality. And to say that, can a team be successful? Yes. If this team was, Bonnie says, I'm hearing a new story on Ramsey. Apparently, he was one of those players that was always late or missing practice, and the Dolphins organization put their foot down, and Ramsey didn't like it. I did think of that. I did think that was maybe a possibility. Listen, I think if we would have came into this offseason, addressed the offensive line, addressed the defensive line, this team could have competed for playoff wins. Regardless of who the team leader is, whatnot, this team could have competed for playoff wins. Bottom line. Bottom line. Bottom line. But the thumbnail is the final mock draft. I'm going to use ESPN Simulator for this one. I'm going to use ESPN Simulator for this one. Listen, I feel like this team is doing a rebuild. So that's how I'm going into this draft. We got a ton of holes. I'm trying to get as many good players as I possibly can. We have a lot of holes on this team. You want to get good in a bunch of areas. You want to get younger in a bunch of areas. You want to be able to create cap space. That's a joke, Cap. He got fed up with the offense. Jalen Ramsey got fed up with the offense. When Tua was healthy, they're scoring 25 points a game. He's fed up with 25 points a game. Like, come on. Come on. Listen, I'm not saying they shouldn't lost faith in him. Anthony, I've lost faith in him. I think he can play good enough for us to win, but I can't have faith in him to stay healthy. And that's the biggest thing. I have zero faith that he can stay healthy for 17 games. And the fact that he can't stay healthy for 17 games means we can't win a Super Bowl. Bottom line. That's the bottom line. Tua can't stay healthy for 17 games, or if he does, it's by some miracle. But the next year, he's probably not gonna. You can't build a football team like that. We need to move on. But Cap, 25 points a game ain't enough. But let's hit this mock. And again, I'm going about it like we're in a rebuild. Like we're in a rebuild. All right, let's see who's available at pick 13 cornerback. The two top corners are gone, of course. You know, Walter Nolan's still available. Kenneth Grant's still available. Offensive tackle, Kelvin Banks, Will Campbell. That's tempting. Both safeties are still there. You know, and I seen that people are getting high on Tyler Booker again. You know, he's not a scheme fit, but the guy is the best guard in the draft. He moves people out the way. I wouldn't be terribly mad if Tyler Booker gets drafted by the Miami Dolphins. Not in the first round, not at pick 23, but I wouldn't be terribly mad. I'm making a trade. And I'm going to try with the Denver Broncos. I'm going to trade my 13th pick for their 20th, their second round 51st, and pick 191. The Broncos have accepted your trade. All right, we're on the board now at pick 20. Let's see who's available now. Derek Harmon, Walter Nolan, TJ Sanders. So Kenneth Grant has been chosen. Both safeties are still there. Some corners are still there. But I'm gonna trade again. Because we have a lot of holes on this team. Let's see. We got a lot of holes on this team. And we're going to try to plug as many as possible, get a bunch of young players in here. Because again, are we trying to win this year? Not by what I see. So I'm giving pick 20 and 116 for pick 27 and pick 59. The Ravens have accepted your trade. Let's see who's available now. TJ Sanders. There's Alexander. I'm going to try to make one more trade. Be 39 and 41 for 27. Ooh. Ooh. Boop, 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 boop. Mm. 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 All right, let's get the drafting. I'm going to take TJ Sanders, defensive tackle. Around the board again. Gonna take Jonah, guard. Benjamin Morrison, corner, Notre Dame. Alfred Collins, defensive tackle, Texas. Oh. Hmm. Hmm. Let me see. Let me see. You're gonna take Ozzie Trubelo, Boston College. And offensive tackle. Again, this is just long term, getting this team better. So we don't have to fill this team with a bunch of free agents in the following years. Ooh, that was a big drop. Mm. Take Dylan Fairchild, guard. I'm going to take Kobe Bryant right here, corner. We're going to go get the tight end from Notre Dame. Mitchell Evans. We're going to get this wide receiver, Respiro. Come on, don't freeze. Continue draft. We're going to take a quarterback in the last round. All right. You can agree to disagree. TJ Sanders, Jonas, Benjamin Morris at the corner position, Alfred Collins. That shores up our defensive line for years to come. TJ Sanders and Alfred Collins. Ozzie Trupolo, he can play tackle or guard. Dylan Fairchild, a guard. Kobe Bryant, another corner. Mitchell Evans, a tight end of the future. Respiro's a wide receiver you can count on to get open. Rourke and Cody Lindbergh. Yeah, I feel like we're in a rebuild. You know what I mean? Whether they want to admit it or not, this will get us a lot of a salary cap space for the future, building the team like this. We can't have an identity without the coach. You know, who would you like to see be? What coach would you like to see brought in? What coach would you like to see brought in? Now, there's talk of Mike Tomlin. You know, every year it seems like Mike Tomlin might be, done in Pittsburgh. You know, maybe they just ran their course with each other. Would you like to see Mike Tomlin brought in? It was the ESPN simulator. I haven't used it very often. That's only like the second time I've ever used it. I don't know why they're not saying it's a rebuild. And if that was the direction this team was going to go, why wasn't McDaniel and Chris Grier fired this offseason? That's my major question. If we were going to rebuild, let's rebuild. Let's really do it. But why continue to have these two in control of another rebuild or the start of another rebuild? Why? Why? Make sure you hit that like button for me, please. Coaching candidates always come mid-season. Yeah, I'd like a established coach. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Mike Tomlin. I think he's a good coach. I'd rather have John Harbaugh, honestly. I'd rather have John Harbaugh over Pittsburgh's coach. McDaniel never got to pick his own quarterback. I mean, that's true. That's true. But I think McDaniel bypassed that right by going the bat for Tua to get his contract. Now he doesn't get that opportunity. Craig, now he doesn't get that opportunity. He went to bat for Tua. You co-signed Tua getting his contract. Now you lost out on that chance. You lost out on the opportunity to get your own quarterback. Bonnie says, how about John Gruden? I would love John Gruden. But has enough time passed where, that people can forget about the emails? I don't know. I mean, Skylar Thompson was a late round pick. I mean, you can't really, you know what I mean? John Gruden would be ideal for us, I think. And I mean, John Gruden is a quarterback whisperer. John Gruden is a team builder. John Gruden is a no-nonsense dude. He's a proven winner. He's won with 2 different franchises. I would love John Gruden as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. I mean, I don't know if that's fair to say, Cosa Nostra. Cowher hasn't been around for a long time, and Pittsburgh consistently has a good team. In a lot. Who knows how much say he has in the draft, but you gotta give him some. You gotta give Mike Tomlin some credit. He's a celebrity that won a long time ago. Joe, I get that, but John Gruden keeps his head buried in that game. Again, if you watch John Gruden with the quarterback guys on YouTube, his love for the game is still there. He knows the game. I think John Gruden would be phenomenal. Right now, our issue is our GM, not coach. Scotty, I'd say more of our issue is GM, definitely, but we can't. McDaniel's at fault also. McDaniel's also at fault. He doesn't get a free pass. I think they're both at fault. I think Chris Grier is definitely 100% more at fault, but Chris Grier, Mike McDaniel has to take some of that too. He has to take some of that too. He's got to take some of that too. Regardless, I wish they could be upfront with us, though. That's one thing I do wish. I wish they'd stop trying to lead us wrong, lead us down, give us false hope. You keep telling us we're trying to win, so we keep getting our hopes up that, that you're going to do what's needed to put a winning team on the field, and all your actions, all the moves that you continue to make, continue to disappoint us. You continue to disappoint us, and that's absolutely bullshit. Excuse my language. Again, I want to apologize about my language yesterday. I was out of line. I'm sorry if I offended anyone. I will do better with the language thing because it's unacceptable. The word rebuild does not sell tickets. Yeah, you're right, Bonnie. You're right. You're right. Rebuild doesn't sell tickets. But I mean, I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens. I'm still hoping. I'm still holding out a little bit of hope that that we don't find a trade partner for Jalen Ramsey. Tyreek Hill just stays quiet. We hit it some home runs in the draft. The second wave of free agency, we go out and sign a couple players on the cheap. And who knows? Who knows? If we can get a guard, I think this offense can be blocked. This offense can be phenomenal if Tua can stay healthy and we get another guard. If we get another guard, I think this offense can be a top 10 offense. We get a couple decent defensive tackles. Ramsey doesn't get traded. I mean, a lot of ifs, but I'm still holding on to that. I'm still holding on to that little string. Yeah, Anthony. I mean, I think the trade down's the way to go. Well, I don't know. I mean, he built the Raiders, right? He built the Raiders up. And were the Bucs an established team? Were the Bucs an established team? And that's the general manager's job to build the team anyway. Anthony, I don't see two safeties. I see two corners. I can see us drafting two corners, especially if Ramsey's really going to be out the door. Not two safeties. Shit, we'll be lucky if he goes one safety. He made it seem clear that the safeties for the starting safeties are on this team right now, that they're in the building. Yeah, I don't like when a coach has that much power. I think you bring John Gruden in as head coach, Louis Riddick in as general manager, and I think that'd be a nice combo. I think Louis Riddick and John Gruden combo would be fantastic. Yeah, he won a ring with Brad Johnson. Damn near won another one with Rich Gannon. Rich Gannon, who was a career journeyman until John Gruden. Was Tony Dungy before John Gruden or after? You're right. Tony Dungy beat John Gruden in the Super Bowl, right? Yeah, I went to Tony Dungy. I don't think would be a good coach. I appreciate that, Dolphin Don. I got to try to be more mature anyway. And, it doesn't look very, if I ever want to get a sponsor on the show or something like that, they're not going to look positively upon that. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're right. I was Dungy beat Gruden in the Super Bowl, right? Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, listen, John Gruden is just a name. Like I said, my top guy would be John Harbaugh, but I don't see the Ravens moving on from John Harbaugh anytime soon. Mike Tomlin, I'd be open to. Shoot, Sean McVay, if he ever moves on from the Rams, and I wouldn't mind Sean McVay. Listen, Cap, I'm going to be me, but I can be me without going extreme with the language. You know what I mean? I can be me and still without the extreme language. Listen, I just want to get listen, whatever direction we're headed as a team, let's go. Let's stop pussyfooting around. And I wasn't using that as bad language. Let's stop pussyfooting around and let's go. If we're rebuilding, let's rebuild. Tear this son of a gun down if we're rebuilding. Let's do it. Let's not half-ass it. Let's do it. If we're trying to win, then let's do that. But enough of doing the halfway. I'm tired of the halfway. The halfway isn't good enough. The halfway doesn't get us Super Bowls. The halfway doesn't get us the top players in the draft. The halfway just leads us to more mediocrity. And I'm tired of the mediocrity. I'm sick of it. Doing the half-ass rebuild, all that leads us to is 7-8 win seasons. Where we're good enough not to get the top pick, but not bad enough to, you know what I mean? No more half-assing it. Let's go. Trade everybody if we're rebuilding. Trade everyone. Trade everyone. There shouldn't be a player that's untouchable on this team if we're rebuilding. Everyone. And I don't want to hear, maybe Chop. Maybe Chop. But even Devon Achane, no, trade him, because by time we're ready to compete, he's going to want a big contract. Nope, get him out the door. We can find a running back in this draft. We can get a running back in this draft. Trade everyone. Draft night might be a lot of cussing. Listen, I'll try to hold it in, but I can't guarantee, I can't promise every time I'm going to be perfect. If we trade Ramsey and Hill, we might as well tear this whole son of a thing down. We're not winning with no corners. You can't start. What are we going to start? Storm Duck and a rookie? We're not going to win enough games to make the playoffs. And if we're not making the playoffs, we might as well win one game. I don't want to win 3 games. I don't want to win 6 games. If we're not making the playoffs, let's be bad. Artie Burns, are you serious? Artie Burns hasn't started a game in years. He is a special teamer. Let's trade everyone but Liam. Elwood got jokes. Oh, man. But that's how I feel. And maybe you guys don't agree. I know everybody wants to win. I want to win just as bad as anybody else. But there's nothing worse than finishing the season with 7 wins and having the 12th pick in the draft and knowing that you can't get the elite players. You get stuck with the second wave. That's not going to overly get you better. And then what do you got to do to make up for that? What do you got to do to make up for that? You got to spend big dollars in free agency, and this is where we end up. We were never really bad enough where we got them top picks. We were bad enough in 2020. We take Tua. Obviously the wrong decision because of his health. Not because of the player, because of his health. Because I think Tua's every bit as good as Justin Herbert. I think they got a different skill set. They do different things well. But I think they are very comparable as far as potential as quarterbacks. But other than that, we sit at that 7, 8 win, 9 win. And how do you compensate for that? You go out and you spend big money on receivers, Tyreek Hill. You spend big money on cornerbacks, Jalen Ramsey. You spend big money on pass rushers because you're always missing out on the top ones in the draft. Because you're always picking at 12, 13, 14, 15. See, that's Michael. I don't think we're going to be that bad. If Tyreek's on this team, the offense is going to score points. This offense is going to score points. Even if Liam Eichenberg is starting at left guard, this offense is still going to score 20, 25 points a game. They're going to win some games. And they'll win just enough to keep us from having a top 10 pick. Just enough. Can you all hit that like button for me, please, and thank you. Pretty, please, and thank you. When we had a top 10 pick, we traded down, could have gotten Chase. We need a new GM and coach. Anthony, you're right. You're right. If we would have drafted Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill thing wouldn't have had to happen. We would have never had the trade for Tyreek Hill. Marcos, I don't personally smoke, but my wife does. I can show you a picture of something, Marcos. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, Marcos, I don't personally smoke. Nah, picture with Ricky Williams. No. Sunday is 420. Blaze up, my blissfully, my fellow tokers. Tool will get you killed. Cannabis, cannabis, cannabis. Now I'll show you a picture of some bud that I got right now. I got a bunch of different kinds right now. I got a bunch of different kinds right. I got like 8 different kinds right now. Just for you smokers. Listen, Booker might not be a scheme fit, but Booker moves people out the way. And listen, I think Booker will fit just fine. I think Booker will be just fine. Yeah, I've had lots that are, I've had stuff that looks black. I've had some stuff that looks super black. But yeah, I don't smoke. I can't handle it. It puts me to sleep. I probably haven't smoked in 15 years. DJ is better than Booker. Dang, Craig, you want to see my wife? You want to see my wife? You asking for a lot now, my guy. Craig want to see my lovely wife. Oh, man. What you want to see my woman for, Greg? Let me see. I'll see if I can't find a picture of her. Oh, let me see. 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 Oh. Damn, I know I got pictures over in here. Shoot. Where are they? No, I'm not. I was on Roundtable. I fill in for TD over there when he's got stuff to do. But no, I'm not. I'm not technically a part of them. I just fill in for TD. They're a great group of guys there, though. I like them guys a lot. They've been very helpful to me. Let me see. Who else is with me though? If we're gonna rebuild, do you want to? Would you rather just get to it? Would you rather just get with it? Because I'm to the point where I've had enough. If I don't want to continue to be mediocre. If we're gonna be bad, let's be bad. If we're not trying to really win this year, let's get to it. Let's get to it. I don't want to sit here and win 7 games. No, I'm not rolling nothing out close to Nostra. You got me messed up. Make sure you hit that like button. Craig, you better not do nothing bad with my wife's pictures. $21 likes. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all better give my wife a couple likes then. All right, here's one picture of her. That'd be my wife. That'd be my wife. But yeah, I'd just rather get it over with. This team is driving me nuts. I can't wait till the draft. Hopefully we just go best player available and we rebuild this team. We built this team the correct way. I just want to build the team the correct way. Build through the trenches. Build through the trenches. Oh, thank you, Dolphin Don. Yeah, I'm very lucky, man. I'm very lucky, man. My wife is a very beautiful woman. I'm lucky she stays with my dumbass. I appreciate that, Marcos. I appreciate that. As soon as the season gets closer, we're going to touch on all the teams we're gonna, so we'll talk about your Panthers fan, right, brother? I hope you all want to tune in and join me for the draft. I know that a million people are going live for the draft, but I promise you this: nobody is going to be as animated as me. Let us not make the right pick. Craig, you might want to turn the volume down if we make the wrong pick. Because although I'm going to try harder with my language. It's a work in progress. Bonnie's correct. At least we get some answers next week. And that's what I'm most excited for, Bonnie, is that at least, Chris Greer can continue to tell us whatever he wants, but actions speak louder than words. So as soon as that draft starts happening, we're going to know. You can't fool us then. We're going to be able to see with our own two eyes. Guys did mock last night, traded number 13 and number 115 for Lions for 26, 60, 102, 2000. Yeah, I would have done that, Daniel. Absolutely. I think that's a great. I would. Warren at 13 is getting a broken TV. Greer's going to draft an edge, a running back, and a kicker. Hopefully we trade down. I agree, JD. I like us trading down with the Broncos, pick 20, get a second rounder. I think that would be nice. Hopefully they want to trade up and get a receiver. I think that would be ideal for us. And then I want to move up to the top of the second. I want to move up to the top of the second because no, I won't be pumped if we get Warren. Absolutely not. Warren is the absolute worst pick I could think of us taking. Did I see that Kyle Pitts got traded to New England? Was that real? Was that real? Did Kyle Pitts really get traded to New England? Because I've been saying for the longest the Miami Dolphins should contact the Atlanta Falcons about trading for Kyle Pitts. Yeah, I don't know if Warren's better than Pitts. Warren's just the Kyle Pitts was the highest rated tight end coming out of college football ever. Ever. Oh, I do. I wait. I listen. I take care of my lady. She is a very spoiled woman. She's very spoiled. Marcos, I think Warren would be fantastic for you guys. Fantastic. I've seen a lot of mocks where the Panthers are going wide receiver. Get Bryce another weapon. Luckily, you guys didn't give up on your quarterback too soon because he played well at the end of the season. Good thing you guys didn't give up on him too soon. I think Miami should have jumped on and traded for him when I think we could have had him. You're absolutely right, Scotty. No play. Warren is absolutely the worst pick, in my opinion. I will be hot. But hey, folks, I got to go. I got some stuff to do. I'll be back tomorrow. Scotty, do me a favor. See how much cap space if we're really doing a rebuild, see how much actual cap space we can get to become available at the beginning of next year and what cuts it would take. Because I play around with that draft simulator and stuff, but I'm not very good at it. So if you could do that, Scotty, for tomorrow's show, I greatly appreciate it. Maybe if you're available to come on the show and explain how the cuts would work and how much cap space would become available. If you'd like to, if you're not camera shy. But if not, I'll mess with it and I'll give Scotty can tell me where I've messed up and how I'm wrong. Well, that's good. That's good, Marcos. All right, guys. I appreciate you all. You know how I feel. Tell us the truth. Tell us the truth. If it's a rebuild, let's rebuild. If it's we're trying to win now, Chris Greer, make something happen. Let's make something happen then. If we're trying to win now, let's make something happen. Stop trying to trade our best players away. But until tomorrow, you know what it is. Fins up. I love you all. Thank you all. Peace out. Peace.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody and stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to change, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss, just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing